Hi guys, it's Alice. So yeah, I just hit the plant. Today's video is going to be interesting because the room I'm in has no really natural lighting, so I'm using a light but it's very yellow up there, and then I'm sat by like a door and I've got a computer screen with a white light on it, but it's not really doing me any favours, and I'm so close to the plant and I'm on the floor and haven't figured out where the best place is for me to be filming yet. So as of now I'm sat on the floor and it looks a little bit yellowy toned, but I mean it's fine, that's something that we can cope with. So if you haven't met me before, hi, my name's Alice, it's lovely to meet you. I'm sat here with me cup of tea. I've got my stereotypical Alice salted caramel green tea. I apologise for my voice, this was the first time I've spoken this morning. I'm going over to my friend's for 9:30 because she's leaving to go to Bath Uni. So I am seeing her this morning at hers before she goes. If you can ignore all the lighting things and the fact that I'm going to get poked in the head by a plant, welcome to my second year uni, oh my goodness, welcome to my second year uni experience video. I am going into my third year of uni, and pausing this, if you haven't seen my first year experience video, if I remember how to link videos, watch that. And for that one I didn't really write anything down, didn't really have any plans. I kind of wrote stuff down for this one because if I'm being honest, I don't remember this year. Like this year has had so many like subsections to me that they all feel like different years, so trying to remember my second year was going to be tricky. And I've got a makeup on because I was going to put makeup on for this so that I looked less like a bush baby, but I am going to the gym to train this afternoon and then going bouldering for the first time, so I was like, you know what, makeup's probably not a good idea. So oh god, so I am just going to jump straight into it. I've written some stuff down but I haven't really, and I'm just gonna give it my best shot. But I am going to steal this blanket though. Don't dip in tea! You know what, I think we saved that. Proud moment for me. But yeah, so I started second year in September, October 2018. So I'm just going to completely ignore first year. Oh, I'll sum up a little bit, I guess. Basically, I went into first year, I left first year not having any friends at uni. And I'd kind of just started going back to church, just started powerlifting, and was like really ready over summer to try and make some new friends at uni and just get out there, and because I kind of felt like I had nothing to lose. I was going into living with some people that I wasn't really excited to live with because I just felt a little bit like alone, and so that's like the starting point of this. And I also went into second year having just ended a 2-year relationship, so that was something that like kind of affected the beginning of that, because during first year my boyfriend at the time was like my only friend that I felt like I had, so talking to him was really important to me, and that was what I spent a lot of my time doing. But then obviously going in to second year trying to make loads of friends and knowing that I didn't have that to like fall back on would have impacted some stuff. So in terms of housing, I was in halls for first year and didn't stay obviously for second year. I lived with some people who I was in halls. So in halls there were 8 of us, and then in this house we chopped it down and there were 5 of us. So I lived in a house that's quite in central Brighton. How expensive was it? I want to say it was about £135 a week without bills, which is really expensive because I think Brighton's the same amount of money as London is, or between other cities and London. We got that house I think in January or February of 2018, so we had it all prepared already. I moved in on the 3rd of September, 3 weeks before everybody else did, because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get the keys and just move in. I'm just gonna go move in. Wasn't really bothered about being at home at the time, so I was like, that's it, I'm gonna go. Freshers, to my knowledge, I don't really think I went out for freshers. I think I must have gone out once or twice, but I know my housemates went out a good few times, but I wasn't really that bothered. So in terms of my housemates, I lived with 2 guys and 2 girls, and So housing wise, it was weird obviously going into a new house, but the room I had was massive. I'll link my room tour, and I was so lucky to have that room. I had a walk-in wardrobe, it was huge, and that room to me kind of encompassed a living room and a bedroom. So whenever I'd have people over, like, I would entertain them in my room, which sounds dodge, but like our living room just wasn't somewhere that we actually lived in or used, unless it was for like prees, which is obviously like you don't mind it being dirty and disgusting because it's going to get messy anyway. So I loved my room. Yeah, I was beyond happy with that room. I had a bit of a drama with one of the guy housemates where I'd been moved in for 3 weeks, and then when he moved in at the end of September, he wanted to swap rooms with me because there was like a list of reasons each way. Please don't get a nosebleed. I think we're good. And that was difficult because I felt really bad, and I wouldn't have wanted anyone to feel like they weren't settling in, like they weren't at home. But I'd been there for 3 weeks, and I knew that I didn't want to be downstairs because I had the room near the kitchen last year, and the guy who wanted to swap used to be up until like 4 a.m. playing his Xbox or whatever he would do. So I really didn't want to swap, and I felt really comfortable in my room, and I'd already had friends over to see it, and I was just like, oh, I felt so bad. But I didn't end up swapping rooms with him, which was very good, and I'm so grateful I didn't. Bills was difficult to sort. We ended up doing it so that some people were in charge of certain bills and everyone just paid them. So I was in charge of like gas and electricity, another guy was in charge of like Wi-Fi and water. We didn't split it between everyone, which did annoy me. So like someone else was in charge of water and Wi-Fi, and so I did feel a bit bad for him because there was 5 of us, so logically each person should have had something. But that's fine. I mean, we figured it out. We got a TV licence because we're good, sensible students and don't want to do anything illegal. So the psychology modules that I had last year, I'm not going to split them up into like semesters because I don't really remember. Psychology, cognition and social world, psychology, the body and individual differences, psychology, research methods, critical analysis, psychology, mental health and distress, and psychology of security. I'd say my favourite was psychology of security, mainly because the lecturer that we have for that is absolutely insane. She's incredible, and you can tell she's so passionate about what she's teaching, so it makes it beyond interesting. That was probably my favourite. I did enjoy mental health and distress, but we did a lot of that stuff during exam time, and I was like, actually, I did skip some of the lectures because I was in the middle of writing all of my essays, and I was like, look, I'm so like in depth into this stuff, I don't want to sit through a 3-hour lecture on schizophrenia. Contact hours, how many contact hours did I have? I think I was in like 3 to 4 days a week, but I was only in about 13 hours, so it wasn't too bad. I powerlift, so I go to the gym up on my campus, and so I would just, if I was in uni from like 10 to 11 or 10 to 12, I would just have lunch and then go to the gym, so it worked out fine for me. But yeah, so housing, throughout the year we had some housing dramas of like, me and the girls didn't really clean as much as we probably should have because it didn't really bother us that much, so maybe being on the same page in terms of cleaning would be useful. I really liked the house. I thought it was great. I shared a bathroom with a guy, but it was chill. And one of the I'm gonna say it now because I don't care, one of the people in my house wouldn't let anyone use their bathroom. So we had 3 bathrooms, which we were very lucky to have, and there was kind of one on each floor. So when you walk in, there would be a bedroom, living room, kitchen, up half a stairs, bathroom, up half a stairs, 2 bedrooms, bathroom, up again, 2 bedrooms, bathroom. So obviously it made logical sense that you would use the bathroom that was like on your level, because that's what made the most sense. But if you were in the kitchen, you weren't allowed to use the bathroom that was closest to you. Oh no, because that's not your bathroom. So you can't use that because that's not your bathroom. That was traumatising. It was the only one that had a bath in, and so God forbid you wanted a bath, you weren't allowed that. I managed to sneak in like 3 baths a year, but that was because the first time I'd like injured myself. I'd just done a powerlifting competition at the end of December. This person had gone home for Christmas, and I was like, look, I wasn't even going to ask, I was just going to sneak in and do it, but I thought it'd be respectful to ask, can I use your bathroom? And they were like, yeah, go on then. So we had some dramas with that, which was funny. It was inconvenient at the time, but looking back at it, it's funny because it's just so dumb and stupid. But you know, sharing is caring, but some people just don't care. So like, what you're gonna do. Luckily this year in the flat with the two girls I'm with, we have one little toilet and one shower room, and I don't think anyone's gonna be protective over them. So okay, so going towards uni, I found my modules interesting, but I kind of stopped making notes halfway through the year because I realised that any notes I was making was literally just what was said on the lecture slide, and so I then never would take the time to transfer my notes from my computer to like the printed off PowerPoints because I just wouldn't do that, and I was like, I'm actually just wasting my own time. So towards the end of the year I just stopped bringing my laptop and I just stopped making notes, which was probably quite bad, but I just remember not really feeling like anything I was listening to was worth taking notes because it was all just on the PowerPoint. This is so higgledy-piggledy. So, okay, we'll go through. My life turned very difficult in October. I had like personal crises in my home situation. That was very difficult to deal with. So I spent a lot of my time at church. In the first term, I ran a student group. So I would go to students on Tuesday, run my student group on Thursday. I joined youth team, so that was on a Friday, and then would help out at the 11 on campus on a Sunday, and then go to the 6 in the evening. So I spent the majority of my week at church stuff, which helped me a lot. It helped me take my mind off of everything that was going on. At Christmas, something else happened in September. But no, I ended up getting some really good mates from church, which is good. At Christmas, I didn't really leave. I went home for like 10 days, so I just didn't want to go home. In September, I went to nationals for powerlifting. This is so higgledy-piggledy, I'm sorry, but I'm very much just like a stream of consciousness type of gal. I went to nationals for powerlifting, came default third. That was great. And I got, in the under 47s category, I got 50 on squat, 35 on bench, which was my only PB, and 65 on deadlifts because I twinned my back 2 weeks before and was in a lot of pain and trouble. And then we had a little fake like varsity with Sussex Uni, we're not allowed to call them varsities, friendly competition with Sussex Uni, and I got, at that competition, dang it, I got 60 on squat, so that was a 10 kilo PB from nationals, 37.5 on bench, and 80 deadlift, which was sick, and I was so proud of that, and that was peng. And then I was here for New Year's. I've got a vlog of that, I think. And then January exam time was just like stressful in my life. With a lot of the exams at uni, the way that they are, I just never know how to start them, and I never know what I'm writing, and they just never make any sense to me. Normally this video is a lot of like just my experience at uni in second year, not necessarily like everything about psychology for second year. So if you want to know more in depth about that, let me know, but this is more just like how I generally found second year. I'd actually by this point got loads of really good friends that I was so happy and proud of. Started to get a better relationship with my housemate, which was great. I think that like started in October when I kind of had my life problems. And the two girls who I lived with last year, who I'm now living with this year. So we went from 8 people to 5 people to 3 people. I would just come back, and you know when someone was like, oh, how's your day been? And you just can't really lie, and you're like, actually I've had a really tough day. That's just what I would end up doing. Like I'd have to walk past their room to get upstairs. And so they'd ask me how my day was, and I was like, actually it's really bad. Like I got this really bad news on the phone, or like I talked to this person and I learnt this, or I saw this boy and it was difficult, or like whatever it was, and I just ended up getting so close to them, and I actually wouldn't have been able to make it through that year without them because of the nature of everything going on. Just having them to like come home to was the nicest thing ever, and like completely changed my year, because I think if I'd still felt like awkward in going into that house, it would have been awful and horrific. But being able to actually have like those really strong friendships to be able to like come home to and just talk to them about what was going on actually just like changed the game for me, which is incredible. All my prayers for me having friends for second year and like not being alone and miserable and upset were very much answered, especially with Emily and Millie and with other people from church as well. I made a lot of good guy friends this year, which is sick. Mainly Reese and Joff are like the two that I'll like stick to. And Joe, but that was like a more recent like end of year thing. Anyway, February came around. Stuff at home got a lot worse in February. I didn't really know what to do. That kind of crashed and burned. At the same time, I'd been really ill in January. I had like a horrible cold, then had laryngitis, and then I got shingles around my birthday. Turned 20 in March with shingles. Doctors told me it was eczema. It was fucking shingles. Shingles, you know, caused by severe emotional distress. So I had to deal with shingles, and that was great because I just thought I was being worse. So I took 1 day off of everything and then kept training, kept doing my powerlifting, kept doing everything because I was just like, oh, eczema, I'm just a wuss. Like, this is not pain. Babies must feel this pain. I am just weak. Turns out I wasn't weak. Turns out it was shingles. So that was great. In April, went to powerlifting university, women's university, powerlifting championship, something like that, in the under 52 kilo class. Weighed in at like, oh God, what did I weigh, 49 something, and I got, this was peng, I got 70 on squat, which I've never been able to do since, and I've only ever done once in my life. I got 42.5 on bench, and I got, oh, I still got 80 on deadlifts because I failed both my other attempts. So my second attempt was 87.5, which I'd done in the gym with downwards movement, but I'd done it whilst I had shingles, so we were like, oh, it'll be a bit of a grind, but you'll be able to do it. And then we were going to YOLO my third attempt, and then I just couldn't do it either times. At least I didn't bomb out though. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed through this because I'm meant to be leaving my house. Honesty is the best policy, and I really don't want to talk about it on camera, but my mental health went left this year. I used to struggle with anxiety when I was at GCSEs, but haven't actually, like studying psychology, I know that I'm not diagnosed with anything. And then with everything that was going on, it felt like there was just thing after thing after thing, just like absolutely ripping me apart at the start of this year. And so got mitigating circumstances for my exams in May. They referred me to the counsellors at uni, and then they referred me to Brighton and Hove Wellbeing, and when I had my like phone assessment with them, they were basically like, your like anxiety symptoms of like symptoms or signs or whatever are mild, your depression symptoms are moderate, so we would recommend, well, we're going to put you on the wait list for low self-esteem group therapy or group course or something like that. Many months later, I'm still on the waiting list because mental health services are need some improving. That was tricky. That was really difficult after April. After the powerlifting competition in April, I literally went down to Cornwall by myself for 3 days to try and get away from everything. It didn't work, all the drama followed me. So that's been difficult to navigate, especially because I do psychology, so I always overthink everything to do with that. And I think the way it works for me is, this is going to be a lot of words thrown out there, I seem to have a few weeks of just awful, like awful, and then I'll be completely fine, and I'll be like, oh, I'm not depressed, like I'm fine, I'm literally fine, there's nothing going on. And then it'll happen again, and it'll be like another week of like not being able to leave bed, not eating, not doing anything, and then I'll be fine. So I don't know how that's going. Hopefully this year maybe there'll be some progress with that. I feel fine as of now, but I know that there's a lot of things happening recently where it could end up causing it to go back down. A lot of it is just based around me not feeling like I'm good enough for anything. But I'm doing a lot of work with God on that, and with myself, and with just everyone and everything, and that was really deep and I don't want to talk about it, but like, so when exams were over, that was an incredible time for me because they just stressed me out so much that all I could do was I think about them. And turns out, in second year, I still got a 2-1, which was great, even though I had mitigation and I expected to not even pass everything. I still think I got like 62 overall, which is insane, and I wasn't expecting at all. But overall, like, students at church became so important to me. I just threw myself into that and was completely like, that's what like kept me grounded, was going to church and having that hobby. Well, it's not even a hobby to me, obviously, it's my faith, but having that place where I could just go every week or multiple times a week and know that like I was so loved and secure, and like my friends would be there and I would get fed, was so important to me. And so I've done a lot of growing in my faith. Powerlifting's taken the backseat. I kind of haven't really gone anywhere since uni champs, I haven't improved at all because I stopped tracking. I got a job at the end of second year, so now I have a job. Well done, Alice. Summer was interesting. I mainly just stayed in Brighton and worked a lot. I went to Focus, I went to Cornwall by myself for a week. I was kind of in this thing with this guy and it hasn't worked out, but he's still one of my best mates and I think he will be for a very long time, which is really great. Because we can only really be in each other's lives as best mates. So that was like beginning at the end of second year. So overall I've had to rate second year out of 10. Last year I gave it a 7. Maybe this year I'd give it a 6 because like retrospectively I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But actually in the time, like I was so stressed, and for the first 4 or 5 months of this year I was constantly ill. Like if I wasn't mentally ill, I was physically ill. So once my body got over one or the other would hit. I need to learn to not say yes to everything this year and not fill up every single fragment of my time with plans of seeing people, because although at the beginning I'm like, it's great, I want to see my friends, I know that I end up seeing it as like a commitment and resenting it and da. So I need to work on that. This video is definitely not like what psychology is like at Brighton. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is like what my second year was like, and these are videos that I'm gonna look back on when I'm older and be like, oh my goodness, like you've gone so far from there. So overall, like housing in second year, great. Second year, although stressed, excuse my language, the shit out of me, I still managed to get a decent grade, which baffled me. And since I'm not studying over summer, I do actually miss psychology, and I have some friends from church who both study psychology but are older than me, so I've just graduated, and it's actually really nice like talking to them about it. Oh my god, something I missed out was that in February, on the 10th, I got baptised. Well, I reaffirmed my baptismal vows, which was a massive thing for me, and was just like, because it was basically exactly a year since I'd came back to church. How did I forget this? And this year, my friend Imi, one of my best friends from sixth form, moved to Brighton to do her first year of uni. So I got to have her with me this year, which made such a massive difference to me. Like having someone that doesn't just know like uni Alice, but knows sixth form Alice and knew like what Alice's life was like a bit more before sixth form was actually just incredible. And just like her presence, oh my gosh, she's just an absolute angel. And another thing, on my birthday when I had a party, it was actually so lovely to see like all my friends around me and be like, I just felt so blessed in that moment of like, wow, like I'm actually surrounded by people that love me, even if I always feel like I'm alone. I'm actually not. As of now, I'm really busy today, going off on a hen do tomorrow, and then when I come back, I think Emily and Millie will be moved in, and I won't be alone anymore because I've actually become so needy. And I like, after living with my coach Joey for like 2 weeks when I didn't have anywhere to stay, I've actually like really missed living with people. So that'll be hella exciting because oh my god, I've missed them. And I think we're gonna do like weekly like flat nights where we're gonna like watch movies and have takeaway and like just chill and be lovely. And oh, I can't wait for it. I just can't wait to see them and have a catch up, and oh my goodness, I miss them so much. I'm hella late for Roxy. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I completely lost track of time. That's all for today. This video might not even go up because it probably doesn't make any sense. But I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you all had an amazing day, and I will see you hopefully next Monday with another video. Bye.